Yay!
Hello, guys. Welcome back to the podcast.
I'm Maggie.
I'm Devin.
I'm Brittany.
It reminds me of that SNL sketch where they're like, and I'm Doonies with the little hands.
What's her name?
Kristen Wiig.
Yeah. What is the character's name?
Doonies.
Oh, that's her name?
Yeah.
I love that. That's one of the funniest skits.
I know. So funny. Ugh, they don't make them like that anymore.
Domingo.
It wasn't as funny to me.
No, and it was only the first one.
Yeah.
The
no,
ones after that, it's like, okay, you took it too far now.
They're doing too much.
You can stop.
Yeah, today we are still together in Phoenix and we are Maggie's on the mend.
Well, we're not talking about anything current because this is going to be like in a few weeks.
I don't really care.
Yeah.
Really?
Like,
isn't that annoying to listen to be like, this happened like literally 4 weeks ago?
I know, but I just currently, Maggie is sick. Like in this episode, you know?
Okay, Maggie's still down.
If I'm not myself.
Maggie's down bad.
It's unfortunate.
But hopefully, maybe last week's episode, I was feeling better.
She is hopefully alive still, like when this is coming.
Maggie's going to be going to the doctor, and hopefully she's already been to the doctor by the time this comes out.
Yeah.
And we're going to get some tests done.
We'll include an update.
Some blood work.
So what have you guys been up to? I'm just kidding. Today we want to talk about confidence and just kind of like dive deep into what makes us feel insecure versus what makes us feel confident, and
how insecurities have played a role in our confidence over time, and like talking about kind of how insecurities change over time and how that influences confidence. And I feel like we've talked about confidence in various like aspects before, but we're kind of talking more about like insecurities and our confidence and things.
Great explanation.
There was a reason that I wanted to do this episode though, and now I can't remember.
Devin always comes up with like the best episode ideas and then we write it down, but then it's like there's no other explanation behind it.
Yeah. It's like when you write an idea in the middle of the night, like from a dream, and then you actually wake up and you don't remember why you wrote that down.
It is like that.
I feel like it has to do with something with like your pickleball journey.
I thought it was a video.
Maybe it'll come to me. Yeah, I think it was like a video, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, I relate
like
to
a
this."
TikTok or something.
Oh, I don't recall any.
Was it
video.
my reel that I made talking about?
Am I still in the frame?
Maybe, and then yes, you're slightly in it, but in the corner. No, you're good still.
Maybe it was the reel that I made talking about how being called shy made me.
And then maybe like you got comments. Should you look at that video?
Yeah.
Just to see.
Any good comments that were like,
or basically invisible, because people would always just make comments about how quiet I was or label me as shy, or they'd make jokes if I did speak up and say, oh, she speaks, oh, she talks, which to me made me feel like, okay, nobody knows anything about me. Nobody even noticed that I am in this class or like existing in this group. Everybody just knew me as the quiet girl. And I've recently realized like that to me as an adult, I have been interpreting that as I am bad at socializing. But realistically, I don't think that's true. I don't think that I'm bad at socializing, but unfortunately, I have a lot of anxiety around socializing because people always made me feel like I'm bad at socializing.
well, I think everything that you're saying in that like lends itself to being insecure.
Yeah, like
when it comes to
like people thought of you that way.
Socializing and like being in social settings, like everything, like if those are things that you've internalized, like everything that you were listing out of like, you're not going to be funny enough. You're not going to be like, those are all like lending yourself to like kind of deep rooted insecurities, not just like a surface level, like, oh, like Devin spoke today. Woohoo, snaps for Devin. Like that's not even it. It's like a deep rooted thing where you're like, oh, I'm actually really awkward and bad at this. And that is going to make you not confident. Like,
I think that's where the topic idea came from, because I was like, oh, it's such a little thing, but it has led me to have this huge insecurity. And then I wanted to talk about whether like there are like a little thing that has changed your life. Like it could be someone made comments about oh, you're going to eat all that when you were a kid,
Yeah.
or just like little things that have such a big impact in your brain.
Yeah.
Immediately to mind, I just thought of one time my sister said that my thighs, like this part, I was sitting like this, and she's like, it shouldn't come out like that it looked bad or something. And I was probably so young, maybe like 8, 9, 10,
Yeah.
and she was a teenager. Like she doesn't know better. She was
I
probably
know.
dealing with the worst
Yeah.
insecurities of all. But that still sticks with me sometimes, where I'm like,
Yeah.
oh wait, that's wrong. Like I need to
Yeah.
lose weight in my legs or something.
That's crazy. I feel like I've had those conversations with my friends, you know, like when you sit down and your thighs obviously go out, like
Yeah.
there's nowhere else, like obvious.
It has to.
It
go
has
out.
to.
You're like,
Yeah.
like, yeah, when we were kids, we'd be like, oh, why does it, like, we're fat, you know, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think there's just like a lot of I just think growing up, there's a lot of commentary, even if it's not about you.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of commentating about other
people.
people's bodies, or like,
yes.
oh, so like it was never directed towards me, because like I was always smaller and really athletic as a kid. So it was like there was nothing to say to me really about
I also
my
remember
weight.
my mom making an effort to talk to me nicely about my body, but I would still hear her and my sister talking negatively. So like even though
Yeah.
the effort was made to be like, no, you're perfect, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I could still.
But that's
see
what I
it.
think, and I think that's even more impactful, because it's like, here's what people are really thinking.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you
And
learn
so-
to not trust what people are saying and to trust what you feel more. And you're also lying to yourself, you know? But when you have those circumstances with your family, you're like, oh, you're just saying that because you love me, but it's not true.
Yeah.
I just feel so bad that our parents were in that such diet culture era.
Yeah.
Or did you even see from the 50s, somebody posted like the crash diet of the 50s, and it was literally wine and eggs. Like it was
Yeah.
literally like have 2 eggs and like
Chardonnay,
Chardonnay.
yeah,
I can do that diet.
I know.
Like for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Can I change it to popcorn and wine?
Maybe.
'Cause I
People
think I
were
can
like,
do
they
that.
just are getting you drunk so you forget that you're hungry.
Yeah.
Was there a
like,
cigarette in there too?
Yes.
Yeah,
There was like 2 cigarettes.
Joe's referenced that a lot. That's really funny.
well, and all of the
So, like,
different
that was our
like diet
grandparents,
pills
though.
and diet teas.
Not even just that, but think about, do you remember how many fucking magazines? It was like the cover of the magazine was so and so gained weight, or like
yeah, look at this fat whale on the beach.
or it's like
Cellulite City.
or it's like somebody's weight loss journey. Like those were like the covers of magazines. And then those, you know, like on like OK or like People or something, they'd have like those like little bubbles. I'm just like
Yes.
thinking so distinctly about these bubbles of like,
Yep.
oh, look at Kim Kardashian, she gained weight, or like insert any number of
And
people.
for Kim's first pregnancy, that was like such a
Yeah.
huge thing.
Or like they're just on the beach and you just grab a really shitty angle of somebody.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, but like they're having a good time with their
Yeah.
family. Like, why does it fucking matter?
That is actually crazy, because imagine if it was like that for influencers now. Like imagine if there was like, I mean, I'm sure there are pages.
Yeah.
I'm
blasting
sure there
influencers types
are.
of things, but like
that's like
that
what
would be
Reddit.
really
That's like
shamed
honestly
upon.
what Reddit is probably.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sure
you're
like
right.
people's snark pages are full of
Yes.
like weird ass fucking screenshots. Like, what are you doing with your life if you're doing that?
Yeah.
that's so true.
But
But then if they were too skinny too, the magazine would be like, there's something wrong with her, unhealthy lifestyle, drugs.
And
And they're
still
just like sucking
happening
in
with
their stomach
people
or
like
something.
Ariana Grande and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
it still does happen.
Yeah. But I think the other thing too is that oftentimes people equated like weight to health. Like
Yes.
you look so healthy right now or whatever. And someone's like anorexic. And you're like,
Yep.
no, that's not like a figment of health.
Yeah. And I think that's just a thing when you go through puberty. Like there would either be girls,
Yeah.
you're either super stick straight and that's like your body
Yeah.
type, or you are a little chubby, like when you're going through that time. That's kind of the only option.
Probably not even
Yeah.
chubby. You're just
not
like,
even actually,
you just like have, you're
the
just
baby
a
weight.
fucking, not even baby weight. It's just normal fucking weight.
Yeah.
And your body changes as you go
Uh-huh.
through puberty, where like your metabolism changes.
Yeah.
Like, and it's fucking normal.
I remember being like,
But isn't
Probably
it so
10
funny
or
that that's
11.
like what you're like, it's ingrained in your mind that it's like baby weight, or it's like a little chubby, or
I
it's
was definitely
like,
chubby when I was like 12 for sure. But like I understand that's not
Most
bad.
kids went through that like phase. It's like your body's evening out, you know, like
Exactly.
it's before
just
you grow in
growing.
height
but
or
it's
whatever.
like, it
You
really
like
has
your
to do
body.
with your genes, though, the type of person. Like my siblings are all like that. Cameron was like that. Our kids, I guarantee, will be like that because like just none of us are stick straight.
Yeah.
Jake was the only one that was like that. Perfect boy? I don't think so.
Of course. Of course.
I think for me, one thing I realized, I had like I've always like I didn't realize this, but like I have since realized that I look for a lot of external validation. And so when I first started in the workforce, like I had really supportive managers that were like behind me and they're like, you can do this. Like, we believe in you. And it was like, you're really good at this. Here are like some tweaks you can make. And it was always like encouraging me. And the level of confidence that I exuded, like I would talk to anything about anyone. I would do like presentations on the products, like in front of people. But even still, like that's not anything. Like,
but I was so confident.
Look at your pose. Like you're not even bothered by that. Like you're a little kid.
I literally thought I was a model. This is when the girl broke her arm. Also after this jacuzzi time.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Call back.
Yeah. The encouragement, like
just like people just cheering me on and like knowing that I had people in my corner and that people really wanted me to succeed. And so like I would talk about my experiences. Like I would do presentations for people. I would like do sales trainings and I would like teach people about the products and everything. And I like went for sales trainer. Like I was like putting myself out there in like new position, like kind of quote unquote uncomfortable things.
Taking risks.
Yeah, taking risks and like not really caring about what the result was because I was like, I can do this. Like I got this. And then I got promoted and I had a manager that didn't do that and really like tore me down. Like I remember he was like, you know, you wore a Peloton t-shirt into the OR the other day. Like, and mind you, when it comes to like medical device sales, like you wear one outfit into the OR and then you change into the hospital scrubs. And then you go
like
into
you're not staying
so I'm
in
not
your
staying
outfit.
in that
So what
outfit.
why do you have to wear something, not scrubs in the OR?
You do have to wear scrubs in the OR. But I'm
Oh.
saying when I walk into the hospital, like when I walk into the hospital, I can
why
wear
does it matter
whatever
what
I
you're
want.
wearing? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm changing and
'Cause
then I'm
you're
going
changing.
into
Yeah.
the
So he wanted you to be in like business professional or something going in.
No, he was like, you're wearing a Peloton t-shirt. Like most people can't afford a Peloton or something in the OR. And I was just like,
What?
that's your feedback?
So they didn't want you being braggy about like the money you're making.
No, he
or
just
whatever?
came up with a stupid excuse.
Is it kind of like
just to like tear me down? Like that's just like one example of like him trying to be like, you're wrong.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do this. Or like it was just his tactics were not to like encourage me or build me up. It was to kind of like pick at little things that I was doing wrong. And there was like not a lot of support to like go do something. And if there was, like, it was from other people. Like, it was from other people being like, Brittany's really great at this, or Brittany's doing really well in this area. And like, it was other people telling him that or telling me that. And then that's like how I'd get certain opportunities. But it was never like his doing of like helping him build me up. And it's so funny because it fully affected like how I showed up. Like I was so much less confident, like less able to go up to people. Like in the OR, I'd have to go up to doctors and surgeons at the scrub sink and be like, hey, like I'm Brittany, like I'm here with blah, blah, blah. And like just kind of talk to them about the products. But like, it was so much harder for me to do that. But versus before I was like, I can do whatever. Like I'll talk to whoever. But then I'm like starting to second guess myself. I'm like, oh my God, what if I don't say the right thing? Like, because I don't know what I'm doing. Like, and it's all this like, so then it just impacted my performance and just like how I was showing up and like being comfortable just doing my regular job. Like I would have to do presentations of like educational things all the time. And I just continued to feel more and more like not capable of doing something. And I think it really gave me an understanding of like, I need to really build my own inner confidence because if I'm looking for external validation and other people to help build my confidence, which is great, like then what happens when they're not there? Like I need to be able to do that on my own too. And I feel like over the last 5 years, like that's really what I've been working on is just building my own inner confidence despite any sort of external validation or like other things. It's all like what's happening inside and how I can like do little things to build up my confidence that way.
Love that.
I have a workplace story from my friend Ashlyn. She got, after working at like the very lax advertising agency that I worked at, she got a new job at Phoenix New Times, which don't ever
Called
work there.
out.
It is horrible. She was treated like such shit there. But anyways, they had casual Fridays. And so on her, she had to wear like dress very uncomfortably for herself the rest of the days of the week. And Friday, she's like, oh, good, I can wear jeans and a hoodie.
Mm-hmm.
And she got there and everybody else was still wearing like, it was like business casual instead of business.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
they were
So
not
they were still
wearing
like
jeans.
professional-ish looking.
Yeah, it was, or if they were wearing jeans, they were like very dark jeans and still like a button up, very masculine, male, toxic culture. And when she got there, all of the men that she worked with all gave her shit for wearing a hoodie and jeans. And this continued, like, she was called like, oh, hey, hoodie. Like every time they would be like judging her outfit every time she got to work. Like, oh, that's not professional enough.
God.
Oh, you're such a slob type of like thing. And so that made her so insecure about like picking out an outfit every fucking day to go sit and do her desk job. She wasn't even like a salesperson or anything. She was behind a desk all day long. And
were they in like full suit and ties?
Yeah.
Wow.
But like for men, that's so much easier.
It's
like
so,
they
you
want
literally
women.
just put on a dress shirt and slacks and everything. Girls, you're like, okay, I wore a dress already this week, so like, or black dress. I can't wear another black dress. Like someone's gonna say something.
Yeah,
and it's just like,
yeah, and then for them to constantly be like, oh, you know, oh, you didn't wear a hoodie today, haha.
Or
like,
she does
oh,
dress
you're
up
wearing
wrong. They
jeans
probably
again?
comment. They're like,
yeah,
oh wow, Ashlyn, like
Yeah.
you look great today. Like, and then she's just like thinking that's so
How long
shitty.
did she stay after that?
way too long.
Aw.
Yeah,
That's so shitty.
That's so hard. It's
Yeah.
like some people say their personalities like need the criticism, less like that, more like Brittany's situation of
Yeah.
like that they take that better and then that makes them work harder. I'm definitely not someone like that at
No,
all.
me
Like,
I
either.
think
would encourage
there's
it.
it needs to always be a balance. Like you could maybe have a lot of criticism, but if you have well, actually, there's like a
Compliment,
study. There's actually
criticism,
like
compliment.
I think maybe Mel Robbins said it, but I don't know who said it. One negative thing needs to be outweighed by 5 or more positive things.
Oh, was that Jewel? Jewel said something similar on her podcast.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
Yeah, maybe it was Jewel, but I've also heard that like statistic other times where it's
Yeah.
like, but if that's the case, like then you can handle more criticism if you have a lot of these positive inputs coming in all the time. Then someone can literally give you maybe like 10 criticisms, but then they're counterbalancing that with what is it like 50 positives?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she said something about like it takes, I don't remember the number, 10 positive things to undo the negative comment that you got.
Yeah.
Like, or 10 positive experiences. It was more than 10, I think, but I don't want to like 50.
Yeah.
But
Either way, it's like people can handle the criticism if they have a lot of support and like other things going on.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's all just negative, then there's nothing like that you can really do. You're just going to be focusing on the negative like all the time
Yeah.
and not thinking about like what you've done well.
Mm-hmm. I think that's why friendships can be good that are like honest friendships, because then you can know, like, if you do have like flaws or whatever, they can be more honest with you of like ways to improve it while still maintaining your confidence. So then when you're in other situations, you like, you know, I'm this way and like all my friends believe that I'm kind or smart or whatever the insecurity may be. And then that like helps you. Because I feel like always, I would probably seek validation in boys my whole life.
Yeah.
So like having friendships separate would help that, because I didn't have my own mind strong enough to be able to be so sure of myself.
Yeah. What kind of validation were you looking for from boys?
Probably like back then, like more about looks, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't even know, because then I would say I was more insecure with other girls. Like I did know at a certain point, like boys just like girl. Like if it's a straight boy, like they just like girls. Like it really doesn't matter what you look like. Or anything.
Yeah.
Like they don't care that much. Like I'd be more insecure of being as good as other girls.
Yeah. I do think there was like time. I remember there was like a point in high school where the guys had like a rank list, or like they had
my
like
God,
the
that's my
hot girl
nightmare,
list,
yeah.
or like just any of those things.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just so funny, like how many people were putting like their validation in, like, oh my God, I made the list, or like You know what I mean?
Like, that's so fucked. Like, why does that happen in like every school?
I don't know.
I don't
But
think
it's
it
funny
happened in
how much
mine.
fucking power they were the ugliest fucking boys too.
Exactly.
They were scum of the earth, ugliest
Exactly.
fucking people. And we were like, wait a second, why are we like allowing them
And you know
to
what's so funny is like anyone, like think of anyone that like did like peak in high school or the cutest boys. Now they're definitely not. Like if you peaked in high school, like you did
Yeah.
peak in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like there's so many more things that you just like graduate and you're like, oh, like what are you doing with your life?
For sure. It's hard with like, because I think of Cameron and I'm like, he has helped my confidence so much.
Yeah.
But that's still getting validation from a boy.
Yeah. But do you think
it's
that he's
turned
like
to my
helped
own
your
mind.
like he's probably helped a lot of your confidence just in like positive affirmations about who you are as a person?
Like in every aspect of my
Because
life.
it's, you know, obviously he thinks you're beautiful and hot and sexy and everything,
Yeah.
but he also is probably like, he talks about how good of a dog mom you are and how like
every
great you are at
aspect.
different things that you like that are just you.
Yeah.
And so it's building up things that are like actually a part of you, not just your looks.
And it's so crazy. Like it just makes you actually so confident when you just
Yeah.
have years and years of that. I never experienced that with anybody else.
And
Yeah.
you have to trust him too,
Yeah.
because like there's also that thing of like, oh, you're just saying that.
Mm-hmm.
You have to believe them too.
Yeah. I
That's
almost
very
don't
true.
know what's like harder though, because I think like when you're younger, it is a lot more about looks, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely like competition at our school just for like, oh, what school did you get into, or like what school are you going to, or like what was your ACT score, or like just academically things like that, or like sports, like what sports did you play kind of thing. But I feel like I don't know if that's harder or if now it's harder because it's like financial status, relationship status,
Yeah,
friendships,
fully different
like
hearts.
travel, or like whatever else it is, like what's your success.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like when I was younger, we weren't really focusing on like our success. It was more like just more superficial things. And
It's
now
just
it's
that
like,
when you're younger,
are you making it in life now? Is kind of
are
like
you
the
at
comparison.
place. But when you're a teenager, it's like your whole world is that.
Yeah.
Like, so now our worlds are so expanded where it's
That's
like,
so
oh,
true.
if that you're insecure about finances or am I making enough money, you still have all these other things. I think that helps me a lot
That's
to
true.
focus on. But we were talking about boobs and bras the other day because I was saying to Brittany, like at Victoria's Secret, like I would be like a triple D. Like, so I was saying I want to get a Skims bra, but like I don't know what size I am.
I know.
Like, 'cause
The
Victoria's Secret.
inflation was just insane. Like I remember being like, you know, just shopping at Victoria's Secret for the first time. They're like, you're a, you know, C or D. But then of course, you know, like if you just change the band size, you would like go down or up. So it'd be like, oh, I'm actually a 34D, but it's like 36C. When you're
exactly.
like, okay, like no.
Yeah. But I used to be so like insecure about not having boobs and I'd wear 2 bras at once in 8th grade all the time. And like I was like permanently in a push-up bra from 8th grade to junior year, senior year.
Yes.
And even into college a little bit actually. Probably for like 8 years. I was like fully in a push-up bra. I would sleep in it like always.
Was it the what was it called?
Bombshell.
Yes. We were
Holy
like
shit.
literally like 3 inches of padding.
Yeah, that bra was crazy.
It was crazy. Like but
Do you know what caused that? Like insecure? Was there like a comment or like a situation where you're like, I can't let anybody know that I have small boobs? Or like did a boy say something?
I remember
or-
boys would start to talk about like girls' boobs and stuff, or be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, she has boobs," and my other friends started to get boobs, and I was like, "Where am I?"
I feel like a lot of it was like obvious. It was just kind of known that guys like boobs, so it was kind of
like, you
because I
start to
remember that
know
too.
it.
Like, and I would wear like a bra under my sports bra,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so that because obviously sports bra is gonna like make you flatter, so then I would wear like a bra
bra
under
for-
it to make sure that.
Exactly, but it's so funny because at the end of the day, if you were to grab it, you just get full bra. Like,
But a boy
nothing
probably
there.
wouldn't even realize.
No,
I mean, I guess
No, they
maybe.
really don't actually. That's so funny.
But that's like probably the thing that has flipped the most of a big insecurity that now I like think my boobs are the best boobs ever. Like I would be in college and be like, who wants to look at my boobs? Like I have the best nipples you'll ever see in your life.
Yeah.
Like, and Cameron too, like has helped my confidence so much. He acts like they're fucking triple D's. Like,
Yeah, you're like,
like, I'm like,
my
yeah, I don't know
dream.
why you're acting like that, but like it does help my security with it and everything. And I am so confident about them now.
Yeah. I like that. That's really funny.
Yeah, but then we were saying like, oh, maybe I should start wearing bras more to keep them up.
I don't know. That's like what I just was seeing online. There's like this girl who's like, my boobs are perky when I don't have a bra on because I wear a bra a lot.
Yeah.
And then
I think it is semi-true.
Is that?
I don't know.
I think it makes sense because gravity just naturally will be pulling them down.
I mean, I haven't worn bras for like 7 years and they're not really down.
Same.
But they're not big enough to be down.
I don't like wearing bras.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I like them with certain outfits.
Yeah. But yeah, I think now it's definitely more life situation things or being on the same level as other people or getting jobs at the same time or graduating college at the same time and like steps through life.
Yeah.
Feeling behind.
For sure. Do you think like, because one comment you made last week or something was just like, you kind of have seen your confidence in action from obviously just doing a lot more things alone and like challenging yourself to do things that are outside of your comfort zone. And then like going into pickleball, it took you like 3 weeks and you like are going out to drinks with people now. And
yeah, just 3 weeks. That's honestly so crazy.
That's literally, but that's
way.
like, it's not like you do it every single day for 3 weeks. You've done it 3 times in 3 weeks. Like, I feel like that's such a big,
that is crazy.
like,
That's the
can you talk
problem.
about that? Like, just in terms of getting to that point, because I feel like there's a lot of people that have gone through that where it's like they either move to a new city or it's like they are just not as comfortable going out by themselves and everything.
Well, like this really goes back to the problem for me is that in my head, I have all of this evidence that I'm bad at socializing because of all the comments I got growing up. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you're so quiet. And that tells me quiet is bad. I'm bad at socializing. I'm so afraid to be any situation where people are going to realize I'm quiet, which also equals bad. And so I have all this evidence in my brain that that is how I am when I'm around people I don't know. But it's not fucking true. It's not like I'm awkward and don't know what to say. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's not who I am, but it's who I think that I am.
You know what's interesting though is like when maybe that was the first time we went to your photo shoot, and there's definitely been other times where this has happened too, but I remember that one kind of more distinctly. And because you've said this, you're like, oh, I'm not good at socializing or I'm not good at like meeting new people or whatever. I had it in my brain that you were going to be bad at it. And then when we like got to set and everything, I wasn't like shocked, but I was like kind of surprised. I was like, wait a second, what is she talking about? She's like weird or awkward or whatever. And like you just connected with, especially that one girl that was like more introverted and like, you know, whatever panned out with it doesn't matter, but it's still, you guys like found common ground and connection and the stylist. And I was just like watching it. I was like, what is she talking about? You know what I mean? Because like you put it in my brain that this was going to be like really hard for you and you were going to be bad at it. And I was like, no, like there was nothing like abnormal about this whatsoever.
Yeah. And sometimes like in high school and stuff, having that thought that because I'm quiet, it's bad did make me awkward. Like,
yeah,
I just wouldn't speak up. I wouldn't add to conversation. I'd be so afraid to like,
so you're like second guessing yourself.
Talk. But also like, I remember my freshman year, I had a group of kids that I went to middle school with. So I kind of knew them. I think it was like me and 3 boys, and we had the first 3 classes together every day. And I got so comfortable with them. I was joking with them. I was friends with them. I was being my sarcastic self. It's like, yeah, it takes a minute and I need people to like actually give me the attention to be able to respond.
Yeah.
I'm even putting off on social media that like I'm awkward and shy. Like it's just this thing that I believe so much in my head, even though it's not true.
It is hard like with your niche and the way of like the videos that go viral is when you're very specific about being like, oh, a homebody or introverted, haven't left the house, have no friends, or like when you add things like that, that's always when it goes more viral and stuff. And so like I don't know if it's creating this image like of how when they found out Lexi lived here, like that blew everyone's minds because they have such a specific image of what you might be living. Like even like when we come over and people are like, oh, you do have friends, like, oh, like why do you say that? It's like, yeah, you have friends and you do stuff all the fucking time and you're with your family all the time. Like
they probably just like put you in such a box where it's like, okay, other people that I know that are like Devon
or themselves,
they're
likely.
like even like just I'm very socially awkward, like I can't talk to people kind of thing. So then they're like, oh, that's how she must be too.
So it's hard when you're trying to like grow in your own self, but then also like relate to people like you and want them as followers.
Yeah. I just think it's just this lie that I believe in my head that I'm like, oh, she's so awkward. Like, you know, just like, oh God, she's so awkward. Like, what is she doing? Like, and
but it's so
going to pickleball, it's like, oh, the whole point of going to pickleball is to rewire my brain so that I can stop believing that about myself.
Yeah. Do you guys remember when awkward was like really a thing? Were you older at that point? Like it was when I was in middle school. It was like everything was awk. We'd always say awk everything. Like it was it was almost cool to be awkward in that way. Like that stage of like the mustaches and like things like that. Like that almost was cooler.
Yeah, like quirky, hipster, like
so I think I felt like I would always say like, oh, I'm so awkward and everything. But I think I was saying it in a like quirky way.
Yeah, I'm so quirky.
Yeah,
I kind of forgot about that.
But yeah, I mean, there are
that awkward moment.
Yeah.
So, like when I was first talking with the girls after playing pickleball, and like honestly, my first few times playing pickleball, I was like, oh, I need to like tell them good job, or I need to tell them like, oh, it's okay. And I need to like say things while we're playing together and like stuff like that. And I was very like in my head about it. Like, like, I don't know, trying to force myself to say things.
Yeah.
And then now, like the fourth time that I've gone, I'm just like not thinking about that as much. I'm just playing and having fun. And I'm not like forcing myself so much. I'm just trying to allow myself to be myself. But also like after we were done playing and we were just kind of talking, like I did notice myself not really saying anything. Like we were talking
in a group.
Yeah. If there's too many people, then it's like harder for me to talk. But then like once we go,
because like it's genuinely is harder. Like me and Brittany are talking.
So, but it's just something that I'm clocking in my brain.
Make it hard.
It's just something that I'm clocking in my brain. Like I'm not talking, you know?
Yeah.
But and so I'm trying to rewire my brain not to focus on those things. I'm trying to replace.
Are you then thinking like, oh, I'm not talking. What should I say? When am I going to say something?
You know what I mean? That's actually a very interesting point, because I feel like sometimes I like that with Joe, where I'm like, he's not talking and I'm like hyper focusing on it because I'm like worried about other people being like, oh my God, he's not talking. But that probably just makes him so much more uncomfortable when after I'm like, Joe, why didn't you fucking talk? Like, what's wrong?
Oh, that makes it so much worse for him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm glad I can teach you a thing or two about your relationship.
I love it. It makes it a lot easier.
But with that whole conversation being said, what I really want to do with my content is to separate the introvert from social awkwardness. Like they're not the same thing at all. And like still like the whole time we're together, I'm like needing stimulants or breaks or something. Yeah. Because I'm just so drained by being around people, but also at the same time, I love being around people and I don't want to be drained by it, but I am.
Yeah.
But that has nothing to do with whether or not I can talk to people or if I'm being awkward or annoying or whatever.
Yeah. I completely agree.
I think people just like when they're so the opposite, they just really can't compute or understand. Like even when I stayed at my brother's house the other night with my sister, he has a guest room with a bed and everything, and my sister was like, are you not gonna sleep with me? I was like, no, I'm gonna sleep on the couch. Like, because to me, like even if I'm going to bed, that's the 30 minutes of alone time that I'm gonna get for days.
Or like when you take a shower and get ready and you're like, oh, I am so excited to just listen to a podcast and be alone for a minute.
Yeah, but like other people take that as like hurt or like, oh, you don't want to be with me, or
right.
It's like, no, it literally has nothing to do with you. Like I love you so much and I want to be with you.
Yeah.
I just need a little break.
Yeah.
Well, I also think like for me, when I'm with people, that's where like my sleep is so important.
Mm-hmm.
Where like I'm going to bed early, like I'm not sitting in the room like just by myself. Like I recharge when I'm like sleeping. And then
So that's like so wild to me. Like I couldn't just sleep and have that be the recharge. Like I need like at least a half an hour,
Yeah.
an hour.
but like
for that,
those are, if I didn't get sleep though, like I would be not like happy in the morning kind of thing. You know what I mean? So I think there's like different, my boundaries, like they're not necessarily like alone time, but you guys, your boundaries are that. So I think it's important, like when you're with people and socializing and everything, you still maintain like the things that are your like needs and things that are necessary to
but
go.
I don't feel like me and Devin watching Love on the Spectrum after you went to bed, that doesn't drain energy for me. I'm not like, oh my god, you're so annoying right now. Like,
but that's also like the more comfortable you are with someone. Because if I was with one of my pickleball friends watching Love on the Spectrum on the couch, I would be like, I would be thinking like, I need to say enough, but not too much to annoy. And I need to like entertain them and make sure that they're entertained and not thinking, oh, she's so quiet.
For sure.
Yeah. Like
that's why I just like appreciate our friendship.
Like calculation of like, that is draining.
Yeah. I would feel the same.
It is interesting to think about, like you're talking about with the, just thinking about what you're going to say in conversations and everything. And I can definitely like make myself like that at certain times where I'm like, okay, what am I going to say? Like, how am I going to contribute to this kind of thing? Versus if I'm just like letting things naturally flow, then I'm not second guessing like what I'm going to say or like why I'm saying it or the purpose behind it. But I have had people where I'm like really excited about a topic. Like I remember in a work setting where like, I think it's good. It was good feedback that I got. You guys, and I'm now overthinking my whole like interrupting myself thing.
Yeah, you just did it. Like,
I know I did.
You were talking about one thing and then you completely got derailed. And also, like,
You have to explain.
That's why sometimes it's hard to like have a clip of Brittany's. Like she has something really good to say and you want to clip it for social media, but people are not going to follow.
Wait, literally even the Riverside AI sometimes like it has like 3 different subjects like when you're just saying one thing.
It's like dogs, workplace confidence. Okay, let me form my cohesive thought about this.
Give me a second.
I think it's really easy to get in your head when okay, let me think. Oh my god, this is so hard. How do I form like a sentence from start to finish? This is literally me overthinking it. But I think when you're overthinking things, it's hard to just let things flow naturally. And during like when I was like working corporate, we would have like a lot of like group meetings or like brainstorming sessions and stuff. And I would be excited about the topic and I would just want to just jot out something like, maybe it was not a fully formed thought, or maybe it was a fully formed thought, but I was like just so excited to say it. But because it's like a group setting, there are people that are like more reserved or they wait to say things. And so I got really good feedback one time from a manager who was like, let the topic just settle.
Let them cook.
And let other people say things before you say them. Like it's okay to say something at the beginning, but just let there be time and space and quietness for other people to just kind of like come up with their own thoughts. And I thought that was such good feedback because and it's like good because I'm excited and I want to say something and it comes out well because I'm excited about it or whatever, or like my idea. But it was also really great awareness to be like, hey, other people just need a little bit more time to say something. So just give them that space and that quiet time to either respond to what you say or come up with their own thoughts. Because sometimes I would be like, oh, I need to fill the silence here.
For sure.
And it's like just waiting a few minutes gives other people.
Did you ever get criticized when you're young for talking too much or anything?
All the
like,
time.
And you don't feel like that affects you now as an adult? Because a lot of times when I post about being called shy, there will be a lot of people in my comments being like, and I was always told that I needed to shut up. And so now that makes me
on
feel
school reports and stuff, like talk too much.
Yeah, that's actually quite an interesting thought. Never really took it as a negative.
See, but that's the thing when people.
I remember there was
so
a teacher that was like, "You're outspoken," and I'm like, "I'm outspoken."
Yeah, I know.
I love that.
Exactly, and that's the.
so cute.
That's actually so fucked up though, because
Yeah.
outspoken is not really a great thing. But
No,
I was
Well,
like,
no, but in society it is, and
Yeah.
like parents are like, "Oh, she's so outgoing." Like you can just tell in the way their connotation of their
"What's
voice.
the
Like,
definition of outspoken though?" I don't
that's
think
a
it's a
good-
good definition.
and like people used to call my sister like. One of my grandma's friends called her loquacious, which is very talkative in Spanish.
Oh.
And she'd call her Miss Loquacious. And like, it just made me feel even more quiet because, Lexi's talking so much and everybody loves it. They love to hear what she's saying and she's so funny. But, you're quiet. It's like, okay, that's a
Yeah.
negative, and being outgoing is a positive,
I
which
kinda
gives you
remembered
more confidence.
My dad, I feel like, would even say sometimes, like, introducing me to people or stuff, like, oh, she's shy.
Yeah.
Like, when I wouldn't
Yeah.
want to, like, hug somebody
Yeah.
or something. So it was like, yeah, that's so
Yeah.
weird. That's literally put
But
into your
I
mind
think
when
that-
you're being introduced.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting though, because I think to some degree it's helpful to be like, hey, somebody, because I've talked to my dad about this, where I'm like, hey, Joe just needs more alone time. So like, if he's gonna go like like when we're all together as a family, like he needs to go in the room and just chill. And I have a hard time with that sometimes because I'm like, hey, like you should be around everyone else. So I feel sometimes the need to over explain a little bit sometimes about that, because I'm like, I don't want you to think
You don't want him
he's
to look bad or something.
yeah, I
to
don't want
your
him to
dad.
look bad, but it's like, I don't know, maybe I just need to do less explaining about it, because
Let
I
them-
think there's a balance of that, though. Like, obviously,
Yeah.
if he was never hanging out with your family and every time your family was over, he was in the room, that's not okay either. But, like,
Yeah.
they're in a
That's
situation
true.
where your dad's staying with you and doing construction and whatnot.
yeah,
That makes sense that he needs time away. So there can be a good balance of that.
Yeah.
I will say, I think Lexapro turned off a lot of the overthinking thoughts in my head, and
Yeah.
Wellbutrin does not do that to me, but Lexapro did.
That's what Gabby, Becca, the one that was dating a girl, and
Yes.
For the Girls, Becca from For the Girls was on Gabby Wendy's podcast, and Gabby always talks about antidepressants. But there was this one antidepressant that they both had taken before, or anti-anxiety something, and it was so scary because it turned off all of those checks and balances in your brain, and you just did whatever. If you thought something, you would just fucking do it.
Yeah,
I can't
but
remember
was
what it
I think it
was.
was Lexapro. I'm pretty sure.
But they
or
were like,
Prozac,
it was
maybe.
dangerous for me because I was not afraid of anything. And I was like, I kind of want to try this. I need to figure out
loved
what it
it.
was.
Like,
That's
I
interesting.
loved
It
it.
wasn't Lexapro though.
Okay. I don't know what. Maybe Prozac?
No, I've taken Prozac.
I don't know. But
It
I
was
do
something
think
that, like-
Lexapro did
what
that
are you on
for-
right now?
Zoloft.
Okay,
Like, it does turn off the thoughts, but then it also, I didn't love it because it also turns off the positive, fully
Mhm.
emotions down. So, like, yeah, I don't love that as much. Like,
Yeah.
I want everything high experience.
Yeah.
I also think a lot of girls experience the overthinking in sexual situations of like being in your head too much and letting that get to you.
yeah.
I don't know. What else
That
I gonna
was
say about
really
that, but I think a lot
hard.
of people deal with that. Of
Yeah.
like,
Well,
that
you
could
need to turn
stem-
off the thoughts to then be able to actually.
That stems from like the pressure and the comments made by society or by other boys or girls you've dated. Like those are all building up just the same way
Yeah.
that being told you're quiet
Mhm.
have built up so much that like I can't even be present in a social situation because I'm overthinking. Like
Yeah, exactly.
it's similar little things. Even if it's something you heard your dad say about your mom when you were little or something, like little things make you so
Stick with you.
stick with you.
That's and going back to the sexual experience though, it fully takes away from it.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
if
no,
you're
exactly.
overthinking it and being like, oh, I should say something or I shouldn't say something. And it's like, okay, if you just kind of turned off your brain a little bit, you'd probably be like, hey, it feels better over here. Or like, can you try this instead? And then you're not like overthinking like, oh my God, they're going to feel bad if I say that.
But in sexual situations or social situations or anything, your brain's telling yourself like, okay, wait, I need to stop overthinking, stop overthinking, stop
And then-
overthinking.
yeah, that
And then you
doesn't
get
help.
too overstimulated
Yeah.
and you can't.
Yeah.
It's like in those going back to your boss telling you to like let people have time to think of an answer. In that situation, I can't. I'm like, oh my God, I need to think of something. What do I think? What do I need? I need to say something. I need to ask a question. Like if someone's waiting for me and there's a silent pause and I'm like, I can't think in that pause actually. When
Same.
it's
Yeah.
like quiet.
Oh, interesting.
Same.
I really just have to be like, don't say anything. don't talk.
Yeah.
Write
But
your
to me, that's the
idea
sitting
down.
in the uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like letting myself sit in that silence is like very hard.
Yeah. I just think it's in those sort of situations though, like I'm so excited to talk about something. And so I just want to like keep going.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's good to just like give other opportunities for discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is really making me, I'm like, damn, Cameron has changed my life, like, fully. Like, because even think about, like, now, I'm just so confident in my body. Like, that
Yeah.
5 years ago, I still was very confident. But, like, before him, I was just so not confident. I'd walk past a mirror and be, like, criticizing every single thing about myself. And now I walk past a mirror and I'm like, oh, my God, I'm so hot. And I'm realizing that's because every time I walk past him naked, he says I'm so hot. So of course, like that's gonna
really
turn
awesome.
to my mind when I'm alone. That's so cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
I love him. He's the best. Miss him.
That made me think of something. I think that's where like if you can create that own dialogue in your head too and building your like own inner confidence up, I think that's where sometimes. And I think it's like just living a little bit more consciously. I think I've thought a lot about this of just like how can we be more present and conscious in like what we're doing in every single day? Because I think there are times where I like wake up and I'm just going through life and just doing all the things I have to do through the day and then trying to shut off at the end of the day and then like turn my brain fully off. Whereas when I do take the time to like journal in the morning or even at the end of the day or even just taking a moment and like thinking about what I'm grateful for, I can really reflect on like how many different things like are going right or like what I'm doing well. And it just helps to solidify that whole like feedback loop of like, even if you want to think about what you're grateful for or like, I think there's, what was it? The world's first podcast just had a good one. I think it was like, what did I do well today?
Yeah.
And just thinking of like 5 things that you did well for that day.
Or
and
what
that
went well today and why.
Yeah, was that it?
Yeah, I think what went well.
What went well today and why. And then like I love the why piece of it because it's like creating the like just thought process of like, oh, I showed up for my friends today and it went well because like I texted my friend that I was going to call her after work.
Yeah, and you can control that.
And so you can like just be more conscious of like the little things that you're actively doing versus there's a like I went through like just a down week and one of my friends was like, what are you doing well right now? And I couldn't think of anything. Like I was like in that state of mind where like no, like you're just failing at every single thing you're doing right now. And it's crazy like how that's like where my brain was where usually like I can think of something. And so I think just becoming a little bit more conscious of like, okay, I am doing really well with like putting myself out there. I went to pickleball 4 times in a row, or I like called my friends up and I'm like being a good friend kind of thing. I think the more we can do that for ourselves, it like will just build more positivity and like confidence in yourself.
Yeah, I think you need positive proof or evidence. Like you need the evidence file in your brain to be stacked so that you can always draw from that. Like I did this and it went fine, and I did it 10 times and it still went fine. So then you can erase the negative and replace it with positive evidence.
Yeah. I even think though sometimes like that's where having stuff written down can be so powerful, because in the time where my friend's like, what have you been doing well? And I'm like, my brain is blank. Then there's like, because I think it's just inevitable that there's going to be these negative things that kind of come up and you're like, okay, I'm a bad friend or whatever. And then you like have some of these things written down. You can like reflect back on them and be like, oh, wait, like I just did X, Y, and Z things that are like completely opposite of that.
For sure.
Because sometimes I think it's great if you can like think about it, but having stuff written down for me just makes like a huge difference. And like puts it in my brain longer.
Yeah, that really, even with like work stuff of like last year, even sometimes I get in my head of like, oh, I shouldn't send this pitch, literally just of insecure of like being rejected from it. But then if I have the proof, I'm like, wait, they worked with me last year and paid me this much money. Like that is proof that I should at least try. But sometimes I get in my head of like, no, I shouldn't even try because it's not worth it. But like that's literally not true at all.
Well, it's interesting even like with some of my clients where they're like, oh my God, I don't know if we're gonna get that, or like I don't know if we should like ask for more.
Mm-hmm.
And even with me being like, I know we can ask for more and like, let's do it and let's just try. I have to remind them of like all of these things that they've done and like help build up their confidence. Like there's this one girl who just like, she has been working with this brand for a few years and she's never raised her rates and they were so low.
Wow.
And I was like, girl, you've grown this much. Like your engagement's better. Your views are better. You use incredible equipment. And I like put all of this in the email and the brand was like, yeah. And we like doubled her rates, tripled her rates in some areas. And it was just like so much like evidence for her. And now I can like reference that for like future deals where she's like, oh, I don't know if we should like ask for more. I'm like, yes, like let's ask for more and like go from there.
Yeah. Love that.
Yeah.
Oh, I do think there's an interesting tie to like certain things in it being connected to you and taking it more personally.
Yeah.
I feel like that stuff can really knock your confidence where like if a brand's like, no, and it's you make it about you, or I guess it could literally be applied to anything. Like even a restaurant being like, no, we're not going to give you a reservation or something. Like
it's rejection.
It's the rejection that can really knock your confidence. And I think like being able to separate the results from you as a person and like your inherent value can make a huge difference, because then it's more just like, because a lot of the time it's so funny with like, I think brand deals are just a great example, because it's like we can pitch something, but like, for example, we wanted Aerie, but they really wanted someone who was like way more fashion focused. Like they post a lot of outfits. You don't want to do that, and that's fine. And like that's not what that's like, you haven't related to your audience in that way. So like it's quite literally nothing to do with you. But if you didn't have the context of that or like something else, like brands don't always give you that nice feedback of like why they can't work with you. But knowing that 9 times out of 10 it's literally nothing to do with you.
Exactly.
And it's more to do with like what they need.
Do you feel like you had to deal with that in medical device sales, like dealing with rejection, or like if your commission or like sales were lower that month and stuff? Did it feel personal, or were you able to separate it more because you're like selling a product?
I think it was definitely easier to separate it because it was more of like a product. Like I didn't feel so bad about it. I think it would be harder when I was like trying to build relationships with people. And I would get in my head more about that. Like, oh, like, am I doing this the wrong way? Just because, and like sometimes, because like, for example, I would like need to build a lot of relationships with nurses, but nurses are the fucking busiest people in the OR. Like they are doing like wild, 100
honestly,
things.
Like I'm trying to like even picture it. It seems so crazy. Like you're just like in scrubs while the doctor's scrubbing himself, like and trying to pitch him on something, and then you're also trying to make friends with the nurses
like
while
I'm
they're
in the
working.
way.
Like
I'm
no, like
so hard.
literally, I would overthink so many interactions with people just because it's like a very. It's an uncomfortable situation.
Like I'd be thinking like everyone wants me to leave here.
I
like,
know. Literally, sometimes, yeah. And it's like, okay, am I standing around too long? Like those sort of things. So it was a lot of like trying to not overthink it, because it's like, okay, I have to just be here and it's like my job. But like, how can I find the balance of like being supportive and like helpful and like friends with people?
Yeah.
Instead of just like a nuisance.
That would be very, very difficult for me.
Yeah.
Same.
I would be too silent for sure. Like
I wouldn't even go.
Yeah, true. Quit my first day.
But that's why I think it's really important to like find stuff that like you have a purpose and like interest behind, because I think it's like really hard to do anything, like insert whatever you're trying to do, if you don't really give a fuck about it.
And especially not even brand deals, but even just when it comes to content, if you make something that you're so proud of or spent so much time on and it performs less well than something that you took freaking 2 minutes to do.
Yeah.
It's like you take it personally more, because it's like, I worked so hard on that.
Yeah.
Or I was proud of that, or I thought that one was really going to hit.
Yeah. I think that's a really hard part of content, especially because a lot of the time, I think we talked about this yesterday, was like what's it called? Oftentimes people are not talking back to you, even though you're like really impacting them. And it takes like a lot of repetition and time and vulnerability for people to like even feel comfortable sending you DM, like, thank you so much for posting that. And let alone like commenting on it for like other people to see.
100%.
So I feel like those are the little things. But again, that's the positive proof aspect of it, where you're like, oh, I have all these DMs or these like messages from people. But like when you're starting out, like no one's fucking messaging you.
That's something
and you're
I
like,
used to do literally in like 2020 when I first started. I was like silent followers. I made this whole like multiple posts about silent followers.
yeah.
And like so many people, I'd get way more comments and stuff because people would be like, oh my God, no, I love your stuff. Like I just have never commented before. And I think I stopped doing that because other people started posting it. And then I felt like, I like stealing their thing, even though I was like, I did that first.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it is so true that like so many people watch and like your stuff that aren't sharing.
I'm
it
a
with
silent
you.
follower.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't even always
of your
like
own
stuff.
behavior,
I don't even
honestly.
like stuff sometimes. And I'm
Really?
like,
I'm very like, I always comment, especially on TikToks. Like I always be commenting on random TikToks.
that's good.
Especially give me like a glass of wine. I'm replying to everyone's
Love
Instagram
you.
stories.
XO.
Wine sounds nice. I want to make a mimosa. And some
Before
chicken
Lexi
nuggets. Yeah.
Some chicken
chicken
nuggets.
nuggets.
Yeah, I need to eat something, and I have some Just Bear chicken, so.
Oh, I could go for like 4 chicken nuggets.
Okay. They're actually strips.
Okay, 2 strips.
2 strips.
I like the Just Bear.
Yeah.
But definitely, I think realizing what things have led to your insecurities, pinpointing them, and then trying to rewire those in your brain. You know, going out like it's a science experiment and you're trying to find the positive evidence and then getting home and writing it down so that you have the proof there.
Yeah.
Because it's very possible.
I also think sometimes too, I have to like take my own advice on this. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I need to journal about this or whatever. And I'm like, no, it's going to take too long. And I'm like, no, it's really not. Like you can just make like a brain dump list super fast of like, if I wanted a positive proof list or I wanted like a what have I been doing well type of thing. Like it takes, even if I only have a minute, like I could write whatever I need to write in like a minute and then like leave it at that. And I think that's way more impactful than like not doing it at all like I do.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Or I always think like, how much would my life be improved if I listened to my own advice? Like,
Yeah.
that's how everyone is.
Book therapy.
Yeah, literally. Okay, we love you guys so much. Thanks for listening. We did do a live together and it was so much fun. And you guys were chatting with us and we
was
played
so
some
fun.
games. So
That
is
built our
available.
confidence up of doing more lives.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah,
that really
like,
did build our
We're
confidence.
so appreciative of the people who like came and were commenting and
Yeah.
chatting with us. Like,
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
fun.
And
Love
we were
you
just saying,
guys.
like, we feel like you guys really know us, like,
Yeah.
the podcast listeners, of course, but then even a step further, Patreon, like,
I know.
you really,
There's like
really know
inside
us.
jokes too that people were
Yeah.
getting. It was
We're
like
dying.
me and Maggie were like talking over each other at one point, and I think it was Jordan was like, "Okay, Devin, I'm listening."
Yeah, I'm listening because that was just sitting forward. It was so funny. But you can watch that. It was like over an hour. We played games
Yeah.
for it and stuff. So that's on our Patreon as well as like 80 other videos that you can watch. Patreon.com/sogladwerefriends. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to watch this. Leave us a rate and review wherever you listen to podcasts. We'll see you next week. Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.